Ooh, what's going on, people? Cold Convos. We're going to talk about integrity. What does integrity look like? Do you have any? Do you need it? How important is it? Well, let's just talk about in everyday life. If you were to lie to your friends, not take responsibility for yourself or your actions, how many people would want to hang around you? How many people do you think would get along with you? I remember a friend I used to have, and nice guy, cool guy, all that stuff, but I think he was just really insecure. So he'd make all these lies up all the time. He'd just tell the most outlandish stories. One time I was like talking to him about mountain biking, and he's like, "Hey man, I just was out of town. I had dinner, and Barack Obama showed up, and told me this elaborate story." And to me, I don't like my intelligence questions. Like, I can only handle so much until it started affecting me, where he'd lie about doing stuff and he'd never show up and never do any of that. But, like, I have to say, he came out to be looking or sounding like the most interesting person ever. My friends and I still joke about some of the stuff that he said. Uh, and how he got out of work and all that stuff. Completely ridiculous stuff about how he got a chicken bone caught in his throat, broke his collarbone, like just you name it. There's a story behind it. All the everything you could imagine, from meeting the president to flying private jets, whatever. It didn't matter. He had a story to tell, and looking back on it, it's hilarious to tell the stories associated with some of the stuff he said. But at the end of the day, I could not remain friends with him because of his lack of integrity. He just never would be responsible for his actions. He wouldn't show up when you asked him to. If you made a promise about taking you to the airport, it wouldn't happen. So to me, that is something that's going to end a friendship for me, because if I can't count on you, I can't respect you, I can't, you can't, I don't want that person in my life. All right, that might be a little harsh, but at a certain point, it's like you have to be honorable to your word. This is a big thing my dad taught me, right? Like, am I perfect? No. Do I make mistakes? Yeah. Do I say stuff and something comes up? Sure. But even if that's the case, I'll take responsibility and ownership of that and be like, yeah, I did do that. I can own up to that and face the consequences, right? You want to be a person who honors their word, right? If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to get something done by a certain date, do it, follow through, communicate that. This can be challenging, right? Like, insecurities can come in, things come up, but as long as you communicate up front of what's going on, and you don't have to say like, "Oh my God, like I got an accident," blah blah. All you have to do is be like, "Hey, look, uh, I haven't gotten to it yet. I had something come up. It's personal. I have to deal with. I apologize. I can get it to you by this date." But then you got to follow through on that date. You can't just push it back and push it back and push it back. That's how you get fired. That's how nobody's going to respect what you say. You're going to lose integrity. So building credibility and trust is extremely valuable in your friends, in your relationships, your partners, your teams, your organizations. If people don't trust you, for example, like uh, in a college locker room, or even a NFL locker room or NBA locker room, you have a team. That organization is your team, and if the players do not trust that coach, they won't follow him anymore. I've seen a coach lose a locker room, and it's the death of the team, because the team has no trust, no respect. They're not going to listen to him anymore. They're not going to believe their plan, right? If you're a good leader, you're going to have a plan of action and a mission that people jump on board. They want to follow you to that promised line. They want to follow you because they believe you're going to get them in, get them better. They believe you're going to get to an NBA championship or get close, because you're aligned in your principles, your mission, your vision, all that stuff. You've been able as a leader to express to them what your plan is. And when you can, express that so clearly, people will jump on board. Not everybody, and that's fine. Some people don't want a part of your vision or be a part of your mission, and that's where you should exclude them from it, and you should hire them or fire them trade them, get them on a different team, whatever it may be. And I'm not saying you have to fire people, but if they're not part of that mission, you need everybody on board driving that ship and doing their job, right? Like Bill Belichick is extremely like, you have to just do your job. That's all you have to do. Execute your job to perfection. Get as close to perfection as possible, right? That's what you're striving for every day, every play, in every way, right? Didn't mean to rhyme on that, but all came out and sounded really good. But so when it comes to yourself, you have only one person in control, and that's you. And you have to take that standpoint of like, you have to be able to look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm not doing this well. I need to make an adjustments here. I'm not being responsible for my actions. I'm kind of lying, or white lying, or not just telling the truth about certain things. And yeah, you might need some time to wrestle with that yourself, so you know what you really want. Because if you don't know what you really want and know who you are inside, you're definitely going to be wish-washy, right? You have to be secure in yourself. You got to know what you want. You got to know if you want to be part of that mission, or if you're the leader, you got to know what that mission is and create some clarity around that. Obviously, you can work with coaches, get more help around creating clarity. Links are below, whatever. You can also just talk to other people, talk to other mentors, people that are in your same boat on how to get more clear. You also just takes some time to yourself to really write out that mission, that clarity, to that you want people to follow. And it just needs to be an overview. But the better you can tell that story because you're clear of what you want to achieve, then people are going to jump on board. They're going to be excited. They're going to be influenced. They're going to embrace your passion if you show that. But you have to take responsibility with that ship, right? There's only one captain on a boat, right? If you want to be that captain, you have to steer that boat, or tell whoever's steering that boat what direction you need to go. That doesn't mean you don't it gives you the right to boss people around, tell everybody what to do, but gives you the idea to lead, of like, hey, as a captain, I need to listen to my first mate. I need to listen to whatever other people are on the boat. I need to listen to other people on that boat. My spouse, my team, my finance guy, my whatever, my marketing guy, whoever it may be. You need to listen to them and take that information in and go with what they're saying if they're more of an expert with you, or get multiple people on this and consult them, so then you can decide like, hey, you know what, this is a much better direction. You can always steer the ship in a different direction. If there's a storm coming and it's brewing, you don't always want to go straight through it, right? Sometimes it makes sense to turn the boat sideways, go backwards, return, take a moment to get back out of that storm, or take a different direction. So be smart about it, but be responsible as a leader, as you're leading yourself, hopefully, in life. Right? If you're not, you better start. And if you're leading a team, an organization, you need to start doing a better job, or improving that, by listening to your team members, being responsible, and being and most important, have integrity on that. So whatever you say, hold yourself accountable to that, right? If you can't, get an accountability coach to hold you accountable to your own work. Because if you start lying to yourself, and I see this all the time with people who want to get in shape, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and first of the year I'm going to start this and that and all that stuff, and then you don't do it. Well, if you start losing credibility in yourself, that drops self-esteem, that stuff drops confidence, that drops all these things, because you're telling yourself, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and X, Y, and Z never happens. So you got to look at yourself and say, hey, you know what, I have to give myself grace. I have to say, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to hold myself accountable and get it done. That's where accountability coaches help. That's where having a partner, somebody that can hold you accountable to push you in that direction, is going to help you. So remember, be honest, be clear, be precise, live up to the word you say, right? So if you say something, mean it. If you make a promise, keep it, right? It's that simple. I would tell this to my kids. I tell this to any leader out there, or anybody that wants people to follow them, or even with themselves. If you make a promise to yourself, keep it, right? It's okay if you break some promises to yourself or other people, but then be responsible for it. Take accountability for it. Stand up and let people know, like, yeah, I messed up here. I got to do better, right? And here's how I'm going to do better. Give them an action plan on how you're going to do better. Give an action plan how you're going to be better to yourself, to everybody you're in. So have some integrity, be responsible, take charge of your life, and let's work on getting better every day. All right, here's to your success. Take care.